Hello, very good evening from Malaysia, and hello, my dear friends from all over the world. Today, I'm honored to have my good friend, Associate Professor Dr. Zamir, for another session for my podcast titled Transformative Learning Experience. And in this series, today we are going to talk about one very important topic: talent development to enhance sustainability and competitiveness. And I'm honored to have Dr. Zamir, who is the director at Institute of Nano Optoelectronic Research and Technology. What does this research do? How does this relate to sustainability? And how academics and researcher like Dr. Zamir can contribute in this very important topic? And how these academics can make a difference to the working adults by conducting professional development program for the industry. These are some of the discussion I'm honored to have with Dr. Zamir, who I had the privilege of having in my HRD Corp Train the Trainer program almost a year ago. Dr. Zamir, what a wonderful opportunity to meet you again, and welcome for the show. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Hi, Major. Good day. How are you? Thanks for having me
My,
on the show.
my pleasure, my pleasure. Lamada, it has been some time, yeah?
Yeah. How are you?
Very well, Doctor. We should plan for a meetup in Penang.
Sure. I look forward to that.
Yeah. I've been watching, I've been following your work in
Mhm.
LinkedIn, and I'm sure that's only a very small part of your busy schedule. But for the benefit of our audience here, uh, can you tell us a little bit about your background and more so what this your organization do, Dr. Zamir?
Okay, sure. All right. First of all, thank you very much, Major Dr. Prabha, for inviting me for the podcast. I'm really honored to be part of the podcast initiative. So when I received the invitation, I had no doubt but to say yes because it's been quite some time after graduating, I call it, from the TTT session. So
Yeah.
I joined the session of the TTT training in April 2022. So it's been like, yeah, 1.5 years already. So time
Wow.
flies. Um, so yeah, thanks a lot for having me on the session. My full name is Mohd Zamir Pakhuruddin. Just a bit of my background. My hometown is in Gurun Kedah. So I'm a Kedahan. So a little bit of my education background. I graduated with a degree of electrical engineering some 20 years ago from University of Sheffield in electrical engineering. And then I did my MSc in physics at USM by research. And then I received my PhD in solar photovoltaic engineering, or we call it PV engineering, from University of New South Wales, Sydney, Australia, in 2016. And before joining academia in 2016, I was actually in semiconductor industry for about 8 years. So I spent my first 8 years in industry working in Siltera, Malaysia at Kulim High Tech Park, where I was a photolithography engineer. So it was in a semiconductor foundry where I started my career. And then I spent the remaining 1.5 years in Fuji Electric, also at Kulim High Tech Park, doing some fabrication processes as well. So then in 2012, I received a slot. I was successful in securing a slot called Rancangan Latihan Kaki Tangan Academic, or RLKA, at USM, where fellows will be sent over for MSc and PhD before coming back to report duty as a lecturer. So I came back after graduating from my PhD in 2016 and reported my duty as a lecturer at School of Physics in 2016. So it's been It's been about 7 years now with USM as a lecturer at School of Physics. And also in 2022, I was given a responsibility as a director at Nano Optoelectronics Research and Technology, or INOR, in short, INOR, where INOR is actually one of the Center of Excellence, or COE, Center of Excellence at USM, focusing on research related to nano optoelectronics, where it marries nanotechnology and optoelectronics uh, in terms of the research trust. So this is pretty much, Dr. Prabha, what I have been doing since day one at DSM and even before that when I was in the industry. Yeah.
Nice, nice. From Kedah to USM to Australia, back to high tech park, and now back to university. But more importantly, going back to the industry where you started to serve them.
Mhm.
What a wonderful journey! What a wonderful journey. Uh, while you are talking about nanotechnology, optoelectronic, I was just as if I understood. Allow me to acknowledge that I really don't understand what is this industry is all about.
Okay.
I just read a little bit about you for the benefit of our audience, Dr. Zamir. Can you just tell us a bit what nanotechnology, optoelectronics, and how this is important for our industry?
Okay. Actually, nanotechnology and optoelectronics are two key areas that or form our technology at the moment, or form our semiconductor industry at the moment. So if you look at Malaysia's context, uh, electrical and electronic industry (E&E) contributes about 35 to 40% of export. So
Wow.
it plays a crucial role in Malaysia's uh, development and status, moving towards a high income nation. So at the moment, we have various industries. If you talk about E&E, we have a range of different subsectors from wafer fabrication, we have semiconductors, we have solar, we have assembly and test, and others. But when it comes to nanotechnology and optoelectronics, there are a couple of key technologies that form this nano optoelectronics. So nanotechnology, in essence, is any technologies that operate or that are formed with the basis of technology scale of below 100 nanometer. 100 nanometer is like, yeah, if you look at our hair, the thickness is about 100 of micron, or it's very very thin, very very thin. If you talk about nanotechnology, it's even thinner than that. So you can imagine picking one hair and slice that by about 1,000 times,
Oh my
uh,
God.
thinner than that. So this is the basis of the industry that we're talking today. So we talk about marrying nanotechnology and optoelectronics. Optoelectronic, on the other hand, is electronic industry which focuses on opto. Opto here means any technologies, particularly semiconductor technologies, which involve interaction between light and material. For example, if you talk about solar technologies, so it involves technologies which absorb the sunlight and convert that into electricity. On the other hand, you can also look at LEDs, which we have at various places at the moment, light emitting diodes, which involve a conversion of electricity that we inject into light emission. Hence, we see the light. So these are among the two key technologies that we have within the spectrum of nanotechnology married with optoelectronics. And we have some other devices, or we have some other products in the market, for example, light sensors and whatnot. But these are uh, two of the main examples that's driving Malaysia's economy at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, doctor. For the friends who are listening, hi Sakti, hello. And if you have any question, on this subject related to nanotechnology, optoelectronics. This is a great opportunity to get insights from Dr. Zamir, who has been in the industry, both as a researcher, academics, and also the practitioner. Uh, Doctor, the topic today, the essence of it is on sustainability.
Mhm.
Before meeting you, I just decided to read up a little bit. And during our TTT, you did mention about the size of Nano, if I remember, about slicing the hair. Now I recall that. And such an advanced technology, and you use that for many other industry, if I'm not mistaken, for paint and semiconductor and so on. Uh,
Yeah.
while we are talking about all this development, such a huge industry, there's also a major concern about environment, the impact of this industry to the environment. Are we robbing the future of our children, our grandchildren, for the needs of development today? As such, sustainability, I understand, such an important topic. Uh, Please tell us, how do your work contributes to sustainability, and in that process contribute to Malaysians' competitiveness?
Okay. Major. All right. If you look at sustainability, in simple terms, it can be understood as a concept that recognizes that environment is an exhaustible resources. Is an exhaustible resource. That means it revolves around our ability to use the environment without depleting the environment for future generations. So on or the other hand, you can also look at it as we need to use the environment in order to fulfill our current needs without jeopardizing the environment for the future needs of our children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and whatnot. So this is a very important concept that uh, we have to use or we have to embrace without um, impeding the development of technologies that we have been working on, for example. So if you narrow that down to our institute and my current research, for example, so my current research is mainly on solar technologies. So that is certainly one of the promising technologies that we have at the moment within the umbrella of renewable energy technologies, RE technologies, that can certainly help to uh, reduce the CO2 emission in the near future. So, being being in academia, we are now working mainly at the fundamental level, um, mainly in terms of running research in various areas to generate new knowledge, for example, and this new knowledge can eventually be applied to the real field in order to make sure that the agenda of sustainability is implemented. So there's no one on earth that can do everything under the sky.
Of
So
course.
as you said, when we embrace the concept of sustainability, we we can certainly do something, even though that something can be very small. But we every one of us has a role to play from our angle. So within the perspective of an academic who has been working on research on various areas, I think this is the contribution that we can do from our side in terms of generating new knowledge, uh, charting future direction of Malaysia, giving some perspective to the policymakers, um, and from time to time continuously engage with industry players and community so that the future direction of Malaysia is ensured as far as the concept of sustainability is concerned. So if you look at the some of the research, for example, if you look at my the center that I'm currently leading, we are now working on various materials and technologies for the future. So one example that we are working on right now is an LED technology with various materials for various purposes. So this is certainly another area that we can contribute, even though the contribution may be from the fundamental point of view in terms of generating new knowledge and charting the future of Malaysia. So yeah, so that is the area that we can certainly contribute from our perspective.
Wonderful, wonderful, Doctor. I really love your emphasis on the creating knowledge, contributing to the body of knowledge. And as the world is growing and change is happening and competition is all over, doing the same thing without change will definitely wipe us from the competitive landscape of
Exactly.
today's industry.
Hmm.
And I'm glad researchers, scientists, engineers like you and your colleagues are contributing to that. You mentioned about LED. Within the scope of your center of excellence, uh, it will be lovely to hear some of the significant contribution, at least at the fundamental level, that has been generated from your research. My dear friends, I'm talking to my friend, Associate Professor Dr. Zamir, who is the director for INO, one of the Center of Excellence, and his passion is on nanotechnology and optoelectronics. Doctor, what are some of the significant contribution of your Center of Excellence or your researchers and fellow researchers?
Okay, this Center of Excellence called INO was initially formed or approved by Senate of USM back in 2014. So we are relatively young in terms of age and achievement. If you look at the timeline of the formation of INO as an institute, the moment the center was approved by the Senate of USM, the building was received in 2015, and the equipments and the lab was installed and commissioned somewhere around 2017 onwards. So in terms of the lab operation and achievement and research activities, we are relatively young in that sense. So it's been like about 7 8 years. So since the first day, we have been involved in a national program called gallium nitride on gallium nitride, or GAN on GAN. So gallium nitride is one of the promising materials that we have. If you talk about semiconductor industry, this material, gallium nitride base compound, is promising in the sense that it has many various features that can be tailored for various semiconductor devices. For example, it can be good as a solar cell, it can be great as an LED, it can be great as a laser, it can be great as sensors, it can be great for power devices, it can be great for a range of different materials or and application as well. So in 2015, we have been involved in a national program called gallium nitride on gallium nitride, or GAN on GAN, under the leadership of our previous director, Professor Dr. Zanuri Hassan, who has just retired in 2022 but still active. We have been involved with an international collaboration with the Nobel Prize winner in physics in 2014, Professor Dr. Shuji Nakamura from University of California, Santa Barbara, UCSB in USA, where the program aimed uh, to produce technology transfer from USA, essentially through this Nobel laureate, to Malaysia via this program called gallium nitride, called on gallium nitride. And since then, we have been learning a lot, and we have been getting transfers of knowledge, experience, and we even sent a couple of staff to UCSB, to Professor Dr. Shuji Nakamura's lab, to learn on the know-how of the processing to produce this material for various applications. So we even successfully replicated the lab from
Wow.
this Nobel laureate from UCSB to USM. So at the moment we now have a world-class lab capable of producing comparable semiconductor based on this material, and also devices with the same standard. And through this program, we have been given a couple of milestones in order to achieve before we can get the next grant disbursement. For example, if you talk about this LED project, we were given milestones like in terms of the brightness of the white LED. So we engage with this Nobel laureate in particular on this LED project called Blue LED, because Professor Dr. Shuji Nakamura is actually the inventor of the Blue LED, which enables the creation of white LED light worldwide through the conversion of the blue to some specific physics process in order to produce the white light. So through this program, we were given a milestone to reach. For example, by the end of 2022, we were given a milestone to reach uh, a brightness level of 200 lumen per watt. Lumen per watt is actually the measurement unit um, to imply the brightness of the white LEDs. And we were given this 200 as our final target in order to close the program. So early of this year, in March 2023, our team has successfully
Okay.
broken that target. Broken that target. So we have managed to produce a white LED light with a peak brightness of 207 lumen per watt, which is comparable to the industry standard, even exceeding some of the industry standard worldwide. So this has positioned INO, USM, and Malaysia worldwide in terms of our capability in producing the white light LED of our own, even though it is still at the lab scale level. But it just shows that we are also capable of doing this project, of delivering this milestone through this technology transfer. So it's been a successful one, really.
Wow. Wow. I'm so proud. I'm a USM alumni way back in 1985, 89. My school is just beside the MOS, the chemistry school.
Oh,
Where's
okay, right, right, okay.
where is INO located? In which
I know
where?
I know it's actually located at Sign at USM, across Equatorial Hotel.
Oh,
So
the
so it's
correct.
actually outside. It's actually outside, just 5 minutes drive, just across the road of Equatorial Hotel. Where Sign at USM is actually a place for USM to locate a strategic COEs, Center of Excellence, alongside the industry tenants, so that we bump more often with each other and talk more, and can create further engagement later on. So it's actually a strategic move by placing these Center of Excellence alongside industry players next doors.
Nice. Friends who are listening and perhaps will be listening to our recording later, imagine Nobel laureate Suji Nakamura, Professor Suji Nakamura, and among inventor of advanced technology in LED, USM is in collaboration with them and able to replicate labs according to this high world-class standard and meeting and rather exceeding targets. What an achievement. If you want to partner with industry experts like Professor Zamir, please reach out to him. We will share the LinkedIn network of Professor Zamir and his
Thank you.
colleagues. And imagine getting a glimpse of the knowledge of Nobel laureate. What an achievement. What an achievement. Thank you very much. I feel so honored to be in the conversation with you, and like we say, tumpas kaki as a USM alumni too. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Doctor, you mentioned about the foundational research. At the same time, through your LinkedIn, I'm aware that you are also contributing to the industry. Uh, because sometimes they say a man who graduated today, including ladies, of course, a person, someone who graduate today and stop learning tomorrow is
Hmm.
uneducated the next day, especially in today's advanced technology. So I'm so glad that academics like you are, besides doing research in the university and conducting classes and research for undergraduate and postgraduate students, you also making an initiative to support talent development in the industry. Uh, in that context, please share what inspired you to join my Train the Trainer program. Now I know it was already 1.5 years. We must meet up
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been 1.5 years, but actually, the starting point was actually more of a requirement because in 2022, our team has decided that we need to improve further on the visibility of the institute and USM as a whole. So visibility here means we have to go out more often to meet our industry players or potential industry players, potential industry partners that may result in some sort of potential programs in the future, whether it's a training program or it's a co-matching grants or some collaborative projects that we don't know of just yet. So, for having agreed on that, we have decided to embark on TTT training and getting ourselves certified. So that's why we decided in March or April to look into potential training providers outside. I have no idea back then who can provide this training. So we were exploring for a couple of potential training providers to see where can we get the training on the TTT and get ourselves certified. So this is essentially the starting point of the training. So then we joined the training. It's actually the three of us. I started first because I would like to explore. I would like to explore the process and see what's the experience like through the training. I know that it's going to be a 5 day full day training. But during my time, it was completely online and it was conducted mainly on weekends. So that was a perfect fit for me because I was usually occupied during the weekdays. So that's why I chose the training to be on the weekends. So um, back then, I know that I have to explore what it takes to conduct the training. Requirement is of course one thing to get myself certified, but uh, more importantly, what it takes, what are the contents that need to be covered that I have to understand in order for me to craft a training module for me to offer to the companies because um, running lectures are completely different than giving a training module to the working adults because the nature is different, the requirement is different, the pace is different, expectations of course different. So no way I realized that in no way I could conduct a training module for working adults without having to go through a proper training. So when I completed the training with SMC with Dr. Prabha, so I really learned a lot, especially if I have to say one thing, for example, I think it's the TNA training need analysis that I have really uh, that really has shaped my mindset and formed the core of my craft before creating the module because without understanding the training need analysis of the potential clients, especially the working adults, there's no way for us to address the training successfully. So I think that is the main thing that I learned through the process because the rest are pretty much the same as creating the module for the students, but the nature is different. So that's why creating understanding the training need is the first. It's the very first thing to be sorted before we go to the next steps in offering the training.
Wonderful, wonderful, Doctor. I really like the emphasis here, the training needs analysis, and use that as an input for designing training.
Mhm.
And based on that design, offer a solution to the industry. And share some of the experience that you have done over the last few months with the
Okay.
industry.
All right. Um, if I could recall it correctly, in when I completed your TTT certification in April 2022, so I gave myself a couple of months to think straight, as in what sort of modules do I need to create. But it was not so clear back then But it just so happened that in August 2022, First Solar expressed the intention to visit INO in order to initiate potential collaborations. So they visited us in August 2022, and we have a couple of agendas for our potential collaborations. But one of the main agenda is on the training that we could offer to First Solar engineers and managers in order to complement their current knowledge and expertise. Because one of the highlights during the discussion was they are all experts in the process sustaining, process troubleshooting, and whatnot, but they lack the fundamental components. So from then on, I realized that this is actually a perfect fit because this is our forte, right? This is our forte as an academic because uh, we have been working day in day out on this theoretical parts on various areas. And in my area is certainly in solar technologies and physics. So this is actually a perfect fit. So the following 2 months in October 2022, we paid a visit to First Solar in order to better understand um, their nature of operation, the needs, and then I could still recall clearly that I presented my training outline to First Solar's director, and he even called I think about 15 to 20 managers, senior managers, to be in the room to scrutinize my training outline. So yeah, so that was actually the one that I brought to the meeting was actually the first draft, if you like, from my side that I think they would need. But then the moment we had during the discussion, they really scrutinized one by one of the topic, every single topic on the screen and refine the topics. So this is where exactly the training needs analysis happening because during that meeting where they scrutinize and they give inputs on maybe you could add this, maybe you can reduce this one further, and there you go. After that meeting, we sort of finalize the training modules to be offered to the engineers and managers. And even though a more interesting story is even though we think that we have refined that um, as far as the training need analysis is concerned, we are far from the perfect process because uh, this year we've conducted 4 times of training sessions to the First Solar's engineers, managers, supervisors in April, in June, and twice in July. So what happened during the four training session was the next refinement of the contents because the moment I conducted first time the training, even though the outline was already refined, it was actually far from refined. So when I received the feedback form from the first training, so there was so much more to refine. So what we did was we went back to our office, and then before the next training, we further refined the modules so that it meets the needs of the engineers and managers and supervisors. And after the second training, we received another sort of training feedback as well. So we came back and we further refined. We conducted the third training in June and we received some other command. We came back and further refined. So, and then when it came to July session, the last two session for 2022, we realized that the feedback forms also evolved in the sense that the training modules was actually refined by the clients, by the engineers and managers. So, and we realized that in July, we the comment was less of an the preference was already fit, if you like. If I could say that we went from say 3 stars to 5 stars based on
Nice.
the training feedbacks. So that's exactly the point where I realized that training needs analysis doesn't only happen before the training, but it also happens along the way, and we have to constantly refine the contents, the delivery in order to deliver the top notch one, if you like. Yeah. So that's what
Wow.
happened in my case. And one more thing, Major. Uh, After the training took place at First Solar, we were also captured by Maxion SunPower, another solar company in Malacca. This one is based on silicon, and we were invited to conduct a 2-day training session. It happened in September, just last month, 18, 19. So where the training was conducted for engineers and managers with slightly different content. So what happened was we came back, we tuned the training modules, customized specifically for SunPower, Maxion SunPower, and we managed to conduct the training successfully and receive good feedbacks. That's good.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank,
Congratulations, Dr.
thank you,
Zamir. And
Major.
my friends, especially the academics who are listening, you have put so much of effort to enhance your research, enhance your academic contribution to the body of knowledge, publishing journal papers, high impact journal, etc. Listening to Dr. Zamir, a 5 days TTT will give you an idea the art of designing training based on training needs analysis and identifying the solution the industry need. And imagine the joy of learning from the students, from the managers, from the researchers, from the industry. This is where we are talking about collaboration between industry and academia. Like what Dr. Zame said, from a 3-star to 5-star, and then expand the knowledge from one company to another company. And I'm sure those of listeners and industry players who like to get more knowledge, more idea, more opportunity to enhance your talent, Dr. Zamir's LinkedIn was shared. Please explore that. And Dr. Zamir, there are perhaps thousands of researchers in Malaysia, public university alone. We have what, about 16 or so universities.
Yeah. Mhm.
Collectively, I think we have hundreds of universities,
Yeah. Mhm.
thousands of researchers, and their knowledge will be so valuable to the industry. What is your suggestion for them, for academics, how this train the trainer or any other program? But in Malaysia, if you want to be a partner with the
Mhm.
Human Resource Development Corporation, which manages the talent development fund for industry, TTT is compulsory. So what
Yep.
is your suggestion for the academics to spend some time like you to go to industry? If I understand correctly, besides you sharing your expertise, interaction with the industry player also give you opportunity to appreciate the application of the knowledge and skills in the industry context. So what is your suggestion to the academics, Prof. Zamir?
Okay. I think the most important one is we have to go out more often and knock the doors of the industry, because you never know that some of them are actually waiting for you, but may not know your expertise and your capabilities. So I think it's important for us to continuously look for opportunities as far as the training is concerned. And to do that, the first requirement is certainly to get ourselves certified with TTT. So that is actually the very first step before a longer journey. I will say. So get ourselves certified, because with that certification, I think sky is not even the limit. It's no longer the limit, I guess. So uh, get that certification with the potential training providers out there. SMC is one of the most promising one, based on my experience. You can certainly explore for others if you like, but that is actually the very first step before exploring, because in order to get our training program registered with HRD Corp, TTT is one of the most important requirement, and there are obviously some other requirements that we have to prepare in terms of the program information, the scope, the objective, the way that we're going to learn exactly through TTT certification process. So the moment the program can be registered, I think, sorry, even before we register the program, I think one important step is to start identifying the potential clients. So in order to do that, what we have to do is we have to really go out and constantly engage or look for potential clients who may be interested in our training modules. The training, if you talk about the training can either be conducted on site, as in you can conduct the training, say in Intel, in First Solar, in SunPower, in Agilent, Osram, whatnot. Or the training can also be offered by public mode, where you can conduct the training openly to students, researchers, lecturers, where the customers or the clients are open in that sense. So um, I think for my case, for example, because I've not conducted the training to the public yet, as in open for all, because my very first opportunity was with the company, and my second opportunity was also with the company. But I also intend to conduct a couple of trainings in the same area for public as well, because I've got students asking for, do you have the next training coming up, and where and when? So yeah, I've got a couple of questions already, but I just have not decided the date yet. But the opportunities are huge the moment we are certified, and I think it's time to go out and show that our expertise are relevant, because the moment we go out and engage with industry, I realize that uh, it's not that we are not known, but we don't go out that often, I guess. Because based on my interaction with the engineers and managers, the moment we are going through the training process, there are so many things that we can collaborate on if you want to really narrow down on that. So the, what I can say from my personal experience, from my training, I can say that the managers and the engineers in my area are hungry of the contents from my side. And on the other hand, my side as a trainer, as an academic, we are hungry for this kind of collaboration as well. So whether it's training or potential project together, but this is actually one of the promising avenues that we can explore first before we can venture into many more branches into the future. So I think by knocking this first door, we can open many more doors in the future. So let's do it together.
Nice, wonderful. I like the analogy. Yeah, knock the first door. All right. A simple train the trainer. Be aware of the art of designing training for working adults who are interested to solve specific problem.
Mhm.
Whereas university students, their core business is fulfill the graduation requirement besides acquiring the knowledge, but they may not have the clarity of application and solve the industry problem immediately. Whereas the clients that Dr. Zamir is and the team is dealing with in the industry, the collaboration provides so much of opportunity to solve problem, to add value, and gain knowledge from even Nobel laureate, and share it to the Malaysian. When you talk about gallium nitride, the technology of material, availability of this kind of advanced technology is so important for us to be remain competitive in the industry. Wonderful, Dr. Zamir. We discussed about your industry area, your background, the research that your university, your center of excellence is doing, and collaboration with some of the world leader like Professor Suji Nakamura, the Nobel laureate, and this has been such a wonderful area. And you rightfully shared how the fundamental of the train the trainer certification help you to open up the door, interact with the industry players, your experts share the knowledge with the industry players, and as the title up there, talent development to enhance sustainability and competitiveness. Dr. Zamir, before we end, uh, listeners up there, sustainability is not a subject that researchers like Dr. Zamir and the team do, but sustainability is everybody's responsibility. What is your suggestions to the listeners, the audience, including people like me? what can we contribute to sustainability in the process, contribute to the world?
Okay. Well, there are range of initiatives that we can do, from the small ones to the big ones, of course. But let's just start with ourselves. I think the first thing we can do is try to educate ourselves what sustainability is, and from there, the moment you've got that awareness, we will immediately realize that the world that we were living in is full of challenges. We have our needs to fulfill, but yet we still have to pass on the conditions or the planet, for example, to the future generation as well, with a very good condition, the way we receive from our previous generation. So we want, the one that I said just now, earlier on, is we have to make sure that we use the planet to fulfill our needs without compromising the needs of our future generation, as in the kids and the grandkids. So certainly the first thing to do is to educate ourselves what is sustainability and what are our roles, in order to ensure that we do things correctly. And there are many other things that we can do. For example, we've been talking a lot since those years on the reduce, reuse, recycles. So this is among another thing that we can do. And another thing that we can embrace is, we can certainly be mindful of our energy usage, for example. So in that sense, as small as turning off aircon when you leave the room, for example. Itu satu benda yang just a very small one, and you don't want to talk about big one yet, because sometimes we even fail on that small one, right? So minimize food wastage. We eat a lot and we waste a lot as well. So try to be mindful of that food waste. It's as simple as that. And we can be an advocate for change when we understand the awareness, and we are aware of sustainability and what it takes, and what are the roles of us as the current generation in order to successfully pass on the planet to the future generation the way we receive it, or even better than that. So we have to play uh, an advocacy role in order to make sure that everyone around us has the same awareness, and we can realize the mission together. And perhaps one last thing, it may be a bit cliche, but we can embrace minimalism. Try to minimalize whatever that we don't need, or perhaps something that unnecessary. Uh, it is hard to do sometimes, but I think we can certainly contribute from our angle. So these are probably among the things that we can embrace major, before we start talking about all the big things, reducing carbon emission, whatnot, and net zero by 2050. But these are among the first few things that we can start from our angles to make sure that we build up from the bottom, and we can realize the mission uh, at society level. So that's all.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from a researcher, from academics, and I like the simplicity. Start with something small. Switch on the aircon. Pay attention. Be conscious about electricity. Don't waste food. Be an advocate of change, and perhaps plant a tree.
Mm, yeah.
All this small thing make such a big impact. We have 30 over million Malaysian. Even if only 10% plant a tree, we will have 3 million trees coming. No. So it is so important. And while listening to Dr. Zamir, we are also aware that ESG, environment, social governance, is such an important aspect in
Mm,
competitiveness of our industry.
mhm,
In another word, besides doing the right thing, it also enhances our competitive advantage so that we can hand over the planet at least not worse than what we receive. And with the technology available, perhaps we can even deliver a better planet for our future generation. Dr. Zamir, it has been such an honor listening to your conversation. Though it advanced technology, you helped us to understand at a layman's level. And friends out there who wants to develop talent in the area of Dr. Zamir and his experts in the Center of Excellence, USM, please reach out. And the academics, if you want to be like Dr. Zamir and his team to contribute to the industry, if you want train the trainer, please explore the opportunity under various training providers registered with HRD Corp. And we look forward for your contribution for talent development. With that, Dr. Zamir, once again, on behalf of all the audience, we thank you very much and we wish you all the best in contributing for talent development to enhance sustainability and competitiveness. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rava, for the opportunity given